Welcome everyone, I'm your man Joachim Terrien. Today we are Tuesday, February 4th, 2025, and this is your CNN 10 News Report. To start off the report this week, we're going to open up with some news about a new sport called mixed martial arts. Very interesting. We're going to get right to it. This past January 18th, 2025, the UFC 311 event took place in Los Angeles, California, United States. The event featured number 2 bantamweight contender in the world, Umar Nurmagomedov, who had up to that point an 18-0 record and his most notable win against Corey Sandhagen. Umar was scheduled to face bantamweight champion of the world, Merab Dvalishvili, in the UFC co-main event. Umar isn't the only one with an undefeated record in mixed martial arts in the Nurmagomedov family. His two cousins, Khabib Nurmagomedov, former UFC lightweight champion of the world, and Usman Nurmagomedov, current lightweight champion of the world in the PFL organization, both hold respective records of 29-0 and 18-0. But came the time to step into the cage, Umar couldn't protect his perfect record, losing by unanimous decision against the UFC bantamweight champion of the world, Merab Dvalishvili. Umar is now the first of the 3 cousins to have a loss in his record. We now show the reaction of UFC lightweight champion of the world, Islam Makhachev, who defended his title in the main event right after Umar's loss.
Was it difficult to keep your emotions balanced after watching Umar's fight? Was it difficult?
Honestly, it was hard. I tried to warm up, but I still watching all fights, and make me a little bit sad, but Omar looking good,
That's all concerning the UFC fight world. We now send you with Nicolas Vigneault, who's going to talk to us about some chilling news concerning the weather.
Thank you, Joachim. Let's continue for another news about temperature in Abitibi-Témiscamingue. Indeed, the temperature in Abitibi was very low. This is almost never seen. The perceived temperature during these days was close to -50. As you can see with the city of Val-d'Or shown on the weather map, Abitibi is the area most affected by this extreme temperature. Let's see the dangers and problems that have arisen because of this. It is a much colder Arctic air mass that made its way south and affected us during the week of January 20, 2025. There are several major problems created by this extreme weather situation, which is approaching -50, such as the cancellation of school transportation for 2 days, preventing students from attending their classes and causing them to miss important periods. Another consequence of this is the risk of frostbite and the cancellation of ski days at some resort, like Monvideo in Barrault. It's important to protect yourself if another temperature like that come back. Now, it's time for the 10-second trivia. Let's continue with the question. The question of today is, which of the following elements has the highest melting point? Tungsten, carbon, osmium, or molybdenum? The answer is tungsten, with 3,422 Celsius. Let's continue with another news. It's time for the short news about Canadiens of Montreal. Let's start. Yes, we know. In January 21, the Canadiens did the playoff. But now, it's not the same thing. Now, in February 4th, the Canadiens are the second to last. So, do you think it's the return to heel with the 5-lose streak? Or they will come back for the playoff with another win streak like January month? But I remember you, it's just the beginning of the rebuild. Go write your opinion in comments. Let's continue with the other news. Now, go on a politic news. Finance Minister Dominique Leblanc is preparing a federal budget, even thought it has little chance of being adopted to fight against American protectionism. He do that because we know that Donald Trump is ready to impose higher custom duties on Canada. Even though Trump has postponed his tariff, the minister continues with his budget. That's all for this news about politics.
Today's news getting a 10 out of 10 is a jaw-dropping story of a Canadian ice climber who broke his jaw and is now coming back to competition after a year of rehabilitation. During last year's ice climbing championship, Canadian ice climber Gordon MacArthur broke his jaw. The injury happened when a malfunction caused him to fall down. On his way down, one of his ropes caught his axe, which he was holding in his mouth. This caused him to suffer a broken jaw and having his bottom teeth displaced. MacArthur shared that on the impact, he did not know how big his injury was. The Canadian athlete tried to put his tool back in his mouth, but the pain made him throw up and almost lose consciousness. After having had 15 surgeries performed on his injury and a year of rehabilitation, Gordon MacArthur will come back to competition to compete in the World Championship in Edmonton's River Valley on February 27th, where he and his fellow competitors will attempt to climb a 21-meter ice wall. We wish you the best of luck, Gordon, and I hope that you and your jaw finish in a better place than you were in the last competition. And now we move on to a statement made by the President of the United States, Donald Trump, about an accident that took place a week ago. On Friday, January 31st, 2025, American Eagle Flight 5342 left from Wichita, Kansas, and was carrying 60 passengers and 4 crew members when it collided with an Army helicopter that boarded 3 soldiers. The collision happened at around 2:45 p.m. over Washington, D.C. Current President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, shared his thoughts on the matter in a way only he could do. Instead of reassuring the country and giving his condolences to the families of the passengers of Flight 5342, Trump blamed that the diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives for air traffic controllers at the Federal Aviation Administration, which were placed under Democratic presidents, such as the 44th President of the United States, Barack Obama, and 46th President of the United States, Joe Biden, were partly to blame for the tragic plane and helicopter collision in Washington. The cause of this tragedy is still unknown, and we are waiting for more information. Moving on to our next segment, we are talking about the Super Bowl between the Chiefs and Eagles, an event that is heard and known worldwide. This Sunday, on February 9th, the Kansas City Chiefs, the reigning champions of the NFL, will face off against the Philadelphia Eagles in Super Bowl 57. Both teams will be led by their respective quarterbacks, Patrick Mahomes of the Chiefs, arguably the greatest quarterback of all time, who will face off against Jalen Hurts, one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL. Both QBs will get help from their respective second option, the Kansas City Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce, and the Philadelphia Eagles running back Saquon Barkley, both excellent players in the NFL. Barkley also had a play that could be considered the highlight of the year, jumping backwards over a defender to avoid getting tackled, a show of his great and impressive athleticism.
Now it's time to pass the new sport with the biggest trade in the NBA and the line project for 2030 and Arabie Saoudite.
The Los Angeles Lakers are hacking the NBA store. Luka Doncic as well. Maxi Kleber, Markieff Morris from Dallas Maverick for Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and the Lakers 2009-20 2029 first-round draft pick. The first time a superstar like Luka Doncic is traded. These guys are only 25 years old, and he probably going to one of the most best player in the NBA. But that's not only the reason why this exchange is causing so much talk. The second best player in this exchange is Anthony Davis. He is 31 years old and is one of the best defensive players. The trade come as a surprise to many, as Doncic led the Mavericks to the NBA final last season, while Davis won the championship with the Lakers in 2020. For the fan, it's very good news. Doncic gonna play with LeBron James. He's creating a formidable duo in Los Angeles, while Davis joined force with Kyrie Irving in Dallas. The Mavericks hope that defensive prowess and low post scoring will elevate the team with Davis. The person who paid the most for it is probably Luka Doncic. When Luka Doncic was traded to the Los Angeles Lakers, he missed out on the perfect $345 million Supermax new deal. New financial realities like a $100 million reduction in contract value in a big California tax hit threatened Doncic's future earning. And it's not the only trade in this day. Just over a week after, De'Aaron Fox told the Sacramento Kings that he would like to be traded, he now finds himself in preferred destination in three-team trade that involve Zach LaVine going to Kings for Fox joined, when Victor Wembanyama and the San Antonio Spurs immediately increased their potential. And now it's time to pass to the second news about the line in Arabia Saudi. The line is an ambitious urban development project in Saudi Arabia, part of the larger NEOM initiative. The concept of the line is designed to be a liner of 117 kilometers longer with city with a width of just 200 meters. It will be elevated to 500 meters above sea level and will have no road car or carbon emission. In November 2024, the NEOM announced the appointment of global partner to lead the detailed city planning and design and engineering for the first place of the line. Saudi Arabia has stated its aim to complete a 5 kilometers central segment by 2030, while completing of the full 170 kilometer project has been pushed to 2045. However, in 2024, the Wall Street Journal and Bloomberg both report that the first phase will only be 1.5 miles or 2.7 kilometers. Saudi officially denied this report and state that the project was continuing as planned. If the city is finished, it could have 9 million residents, resulting in average population density of 260,000 per square kilometer. By comparison, the world's most densely populated city in 2020 had a density of 44,000 per square kilometer. The design of the line consists in two mirrored buildings with an outdoor space in between, having a total width of 200 meters and a height of 500 meters. He will make it the third tallest building in the country after the Abraj Al Bait Clock Tower and the Jeddah Tower, and approximately the 12th tallest building in the world.
Today's shout out goes to École Secondaire du Rocher Saint-Albert. We know you guys got a big game against Amos this weekend. Not saying I want you guys to lose, but I'm also not saying I don't want you guys to win. So if you want a shout out, don't forget to comment and subscribe below the name of your high school, and we'll give you a shout out. All right, have a great week, everyone.